Hello, welcome back to Chapter 2 of our 12 modules that we have provided for eSafety Online. I am Lachlan Parker from Lighthouse International, and I'll be presenting today's second chapter, which is Scams, Awareness and Safety. What is a scam? So a scam is a legal trick. It's a fraud, basically. They try to get information out of you, whether that's your personal information or your bank details or anything else they can get. So they can still make money, even if they don't get your bank details, off selling your information to other providers. They target anyone. It doesn't matter who you are, but people who usually fall for this scam would be those who aren't very tech savvy, who are trusting, or just aren't very well aware of the digital world. So who do they target? As I said, they target anyone, but people who aren't very tech savvy, such as the elderly, or even people who are new to technology, such as young children and teenagers, or any adults who don't really want to use computers and haven't had that much in their life. They will target those people, hoping to trick them into believing that they're from the bank or anything else to try and get that information out of them. What do you need to look out for with scammers? What are the types of things they use? Well, the first one is phishing. It's where they send you an email pretending to be someone. So, for example, they could pretend to be Telstra, they could pretend to be a bank, they could pretend to be anyone. So, from your company or anything else. For example, when we first started up a charity organization, we have our own emails. Now, within a couple of minutes of creating my email, I had 5 messages from people pretending to be my boss. So they're pretty quick onto it. 5 emails from people pretending to be my boss saying they needed me for this meeting, they need to talk about this information, blah, blah, blah. So trying to get information about our charity out of us, but also any personal details. So they pretend to be anyone. So you really need to be aware of what they are. And what do you look out for? Well, for phishers, you need to check the email address. Always check the email address to make sure it's from the right person. And if you know that person personally, either through a phone number or anything else you can contact them on, double check as well. It's always good to be like, hey, have I got the right email from you? And if they don't have it, they'll say, yep, that's me. If they don't, then you know that it's the wrong person. Phone calls and text messages. Now, this one, again, can come from a number of people, always pretend to be, telecommunication companies, banks, government. I've received many messages saying, hey, you have an unpaid toll fine, and all this sort of stuff. So they'll pretend to be anyone to get you to click on a link. And when you click on that link and you start entering details, that's when they get you. So you always need to be careful, especially about things that send your phone. If you're unsure, make sure you always ring the actual company itself. Use Google or Google Maps or anything else you can use to look up the company. So, for example, if I had a message from my bank, I would look up my bank, I'd find the number for calling them, and I'd call them directly and check if they had sent me this email and if it was true. That's if I believed it. So you need to make sure that you always check the validity, but also trust your gut. If you get a phone call or message and it doesn't seem right, hang up, stop talking, don't continue contact. Always check to see if it is the right person or the right company. Websites. This probably doesn't happen too much these days with a lot of ad blockers and stuff like that, but websites can still trick you. So by clicking on links or anything else on a website, sometimes they will lead you to scamming websites. So it'll force your page to change, or, it may be like, hey, click this and get, free money or whatever. Always too good to be true. So you need to make sure that you're always checking these websites, but also making sure you don't click on them. If they get stuck and they trick you into the loop, which they can do, the website just keeps refreshing on the same page, get out of the web browser and get back in. It always fixes the problem. But it's trying to trick you to call them. They're saying you have a virus on your computer, and once you call them, they start trying to get you to share your computer, all this sort of stuff, and getting into your device is the worst possible thing you can let them do. So always make sure that, if anyone's trying to help you online, it's always not sincere at all. So you always need to be careful. If you do have an issue with your computer at all, you need to take it to an IT expert in your area. I would avoid doing it over the internet or online through services. Dating apps. Those of us who are over 18 may use dating apps to try and find a partner in a relationship. Now, scammers use dating apps to also trick people as well. They create a fake identity on these apps. They build a relationship with you. They build trust, and then they start asking for little things. And they might start asking for more things. They might start getting information out of you. They may also trick you into sending them photos and things like that, and to use it to blackmail you. There are plenty of examples of people who've sent photos and it's been used to blackmail them. Even a face photo, scammers can now Photoshop, edit, use all this sort of stuff to create fake images of you, and they can use that to blackmail you as well. So you need to be very careful with what you send to people especially on dating apps. Always, look to meet up in person, always build that trust. But if they're not willing to meet up or they're always making an excuse or anything else, it probably is a scammer. If they're asking you for things, you always got to trust your gut feeling on that. And sometimes, you're just better off moving on from it and going, well, it's obviously a fake account. Let's move on and go to the next thing. So what are some of the ways to deal with scammers and prevent being scammed? Well, first up is always trust your instincts. If your gut feeling is telling you it's not right, if you're thinking it's too good to be true, doesn't sound right, or anything else, you're correct. Usually are correct, always will be correct. So make sure that you are taking the safety steps. If you get that feeling, stop talking to them, check through the right channels, make sure you always verify. Never send money to anybody, especially if they have contacted you randomly. Companies are not going to ask you to send money or anything else to them as part of a refund or anything else. There's proper channels for that, and never trust them enough to let them onto your computer. Avoid clicking anything that feels dodgy or doesn't seem too good to be true. So if there's something that's on a website or anything and it doesn't seem quite right, don't click on it. If you're having real trouble, seek advice from a parent or a guardian or a teacher, or even talk to one of your friends, and they will probably tell you that, it isn't quite right. So make sure you always seek help. You can also do your own research on the Federal eSafety Commission. So you can click on their website, have a look at all their content. They've got plenty of information about how to avoid scams, as well as other eSafety aspects. If you find yourself facing a scammer and they continue trying to contact you, make sure you do the following things. Block their number and email, report them to the Federal eSafety Commission, record and screenshot anything that they've given you. So any messages, any photos, anything they've done with you, including their usernames and everything else, record, screenshot, send. Speak to your parent, guardian, or teacher for help if you need to, or speak to someone who is going to be able to help you, such as the police. Look out for yourself and for others. Scammers are out there. If you see signs, try to help, because they will try to get as much as they can out of you, and people have lost thousands and thousands of dollars to these people. So what if I am scammed? Well, what do? You fell for the trick, you tried your best, but in the end, it got you. Well, for a start, if you are scammed and it's an immediate risk to your life or can cause harm to you, make sure you call 000 and report it to the police immediately. Otherwise, you can speak to your parent, guardian, or teacher, or someone you trust. You need to report the incident to cyber.gov.au, and they will take the case and try to help you the best they can. So you need to make sure that you continue to do the right thing, but also, if you are scammed, there's plenty of resources out there to help you. But the first thing is, especially if it's your bank account, get the bank locked, get yourself a new card, all those sort of steps. But there are plenty of people out there who will know these steps and will be able to help you right away. Now, if scamming is something you want to fight, or you have an interest in stopping things like this, there are plenty of things you can do. The Queensland Government offers many training programs in digital skills, such as cybersecurity, coding, data security, and much more other areas you can be interested in. Scamming is just one of the things that these resources would help to stop, but there are many other benefits to learning these sort of things as well. So if you have any interest in it, please make sure to visit the Queensland Government website and have a bit of a look for yourself and explore your options. That is the end of Chapter 2 for today, Scam Safety and Awareness. My name is Lachlan Parker, and I hope you had a great session.